Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be a little bit quiet, but yeah.
Paulie just missed it entirely.
I forgot it was
Yeah, there
a
you
Two-game
go.
sweep. It's the Colorado Rockies.
I forgot to be.
It's just 2 games. I get it, but hey, 5 wins in a row, guys.
I needed to. I forgot to tell you guys before the thing. Like, hey, you guys let it rip, and I'll just kind of mute mine a little bit, and we'll do it. But obviously, very happy about the Padres' victory yesterday. Great to be here with you. Aloha. Live from Hawaii this morning still. And I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl is our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little bit cooked and fried. As
You do look a little,
maybe
wow,
see.
very
wow,
lobster-like. You have been fully boiled.
Apparently, I'm like an Irishman, and I really had no idea. Like a pasty white Irishman who just crisps in the sun anytime. I put sunscreen on, copious amounts of sunscreen, Benjamin, and I am literally just burnt to a crisp. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning. I'm glad that you got some sun yesterday after your boat trip was canceled. It sounds like the weather may have turned for the better, which I know. No, it did not.
You had to on Hawaii. No. The weather stayed the same where we are, so we had to drive. The cool thing about this island, like, hey, how far is this place? Oh, it's 9 miles. Well, that's an hour and a half in the car. Just so you know, it's straight up hour and a half, one road in, one road out. If somebody gets a flat tire, the island shuts down. I mean, it just completely shuts down. You sit in traffic for hours. And so we went to Poipu and went to the Hyatt in Poipu and got reservations at the pool. And they have this incredible pool.
So you wouldn't get kicked out.
So we wouldn't get kicked out. We had the wristbands, the whole thing. We found some great seats, and we really had we took the lemons and we made some really delicious lemonade yesterday and had a fantastic family day. But it was like 6-7 hours just roasting in the sun, essentially. But it was a beautiful day. I got so many funny stories and videos and pictures, but listen, we obviously have to start with the news, the big news that broke yesterday, and that, of course, is the passing of, San Diego icon and legend Billy Ray Smith. Now, I don't pretend to know Billy Ray all that well. We did work together. We were, in fact, technically colleagues at the Mighty 1090. My first foray into sports radio full time. And obviously, it was a huge, huge honor to be at that radio station. I will never forget. I'll never forget the way we started. And I didn't get a chance to see Billy Ray all that much. Obviously,
afternoons and mornings, number one.
Yeah, afternoons and mornings. And there's obviously a really strong family connection between my family, the Nancaro family, my in-laws, and Billy Ray and Lauren, my late father-in-law, worked with Kimberly, Billy Ray's wife, for years and years, and we're very, very close. So the news, I was with my mother-in-law yesterday when she found out, and so yeah, man, it was a real bummer to hear. He was a really nice man. He was nice to me when he met me. Didn't owe me anything, obviously. Probably had no idea what I was doing there, like a lot of people. And certainly was an icon. And I know, Ben, yesterday was pretty gnarly. You had a lot to cover. I'd like to hear about it if you're willing to share.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a hard day for sure. I mean, I knew Billy Ray in multiple ways. Growing up, he was one of my favorite Chargers.
Yeah,
watching him play, linebacker, just was a smart player and always seemed to do the right thing. Had an incredibly high IQ on the field. Legendary college football player at Arkansas, two-time All-American, following in the footsteps of his dad. Can you imagine? His dad was a two-time All-American, was a Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Colts, and then Billy Ray comes along and says, I'm going to go to he wins a state Texas high school championship, 4A championship at Plano, and then it goes to Arkansas in his dad's footsteps, where that can't be easy. Like,
No.
your dad is a legend at this school, and he does the same thing. 2-time unanimous All-American, and then was the 5th overall selection by the Chargers in the 1983 draft. And a lot of people very excited to get him to San Diego, where he immediately became an impact player, was twice the team's defensive player of the year and the team's most valuable player in 1987, spent a decade with the Chargers. But then, he became such an integral part to San Diego. In 1993, he became the sports director at ABC 10. By the way, this was after he had met Kimberly a few years earlier at a charity event, and they got married. Then he started working with her at Channel 10, which was just great. I think it was like the fairy tale Prince Charming and the princess story when they got married. I had video of that in my story that I did yesterday. It was just absolutely incredible. And then listening to him on the radio for so many years on his show in the afternoons and in the mornings when I was driving to school and growing up. And then I got to work with him when we got together and we're at the old station, the Mighty 1090. But he was also, of course, the husband of my longtime colleague. So I would see him around. He'd stop by the office. We'd have him in for sports segments from time to time, company parties. He'd come by, he'd come take Kimberly to dinner often in the evenings. And so, got to know Billy Ray, pretty well over the years. I wouldn't say we were like friends, but someone I always enjoyed getting to see and talk to. Just a really, really nice guy, and had a great sense of humor, was always smiling, had a big old laugh.
That
and
laugh.
As many people brought up yesterday, a handshake that would crush a walnut. I mean, and he reveled in it. He never did anything more than a sly smile, but every single person he would give the "I'm going to destroy your handshake" to, and it was almost like a rite of passage. So this was tough. I couldn't say anything, but obviously we had that piece ready to go yesterday. I'd been working on it all week since on Monday when we knew that it was probably going to happen, and Kimberly's been off to be with her family. So I was anchoring and working on this piece the last couple of days, but we kept it very quiet around the station. Just 2 or 3 people knew about what was going on. So, I kind of behind the scenes was putting that together all week, and it made for a very difficult week and day yesterday for all of us in Channel 10 and really all of us in San Diego.
I would like to hear it if we have.
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Like to hear
a lot of people are in the chat, did get to see it yesterday, and I appreciate the nice comments if you did enjoy the piece. But this was me at the 4 o'clock news, just a short while after we found out that Billy Ray had passed, and a little look back at his life and what he meant here in San Diego.
It's a sad day for many here in San Diego, including us at ABC 10 News. Chargers legend and KGTV family member Billy Ray Smith Jr. has passed away. Billy Ray's devotion to football is what led him to San Diego. It was here he met the love of his life, our own Kimberly Hunt, and became a father to his beloved Savannah. It was also where he committed his life to doing good for others. Billy Ray will be remembered for the legacy he built on achievement, service, and love, sharing his signature smile and laughter every step of the way.
Straight back. Looking. Being rushed. Down he goes. Billy Ray Smith, number 87.
Strength comes in many forms. For Billy Ray Smith Jr., it showed up on the football field, in the community, and in the way he lived his life. After helping Plano Senior High School win a Texas Class 4A state championship, Smith followed in the footsteps of his father, Super Bowl champion Billy Ray Smith Sr., to the University of Arkansas. Those were big shoes to fill, but Billy Ray rose to the challenge, matching his father as a 2-time unanimous All-American.
And Arkansas has recovered the football. Billy Ray Smith coming out of there.
Not only was Smith physically gifted with size, speed, and of course, massive strength, he was also known for an elite mind with one of the highest IQs in the NFL. That talent made Smith a prime pick in the 1983 draft, taken by the San Diego Chargers with the 5th overall selection. It was the beginning of a decade-long career spent entirely in the Bolt helmet, wearing number 54. He became one of the franchise's most respected players, earning team MVP honors and leaving a lasting mark on the organization. Smith often said coming to San Diego to play for the Chargers was everything he ever dreamed of. But Billy Ray's impact reached far beyond the football field. Alongside several of his teammates, he helped create Bait Street, an after-school program that provided sports and activities for local kids. Smith and other Chargers players helped fund the program for years, giving young people opportunities, guidance, and a place to belong. It was an early example of a commitment to service that would define the rest of his life. Billy Ray devoted himself to dozens of charities across San Diego. It was during a United Cerebral Palsy telethon that he met ABC 10 News anchor Kimberly Hunt. The two married in 1990 in a ceremony fit for a fairy tale.
Billy Ray, would you like to salute your bride?
2 years later, they welcomed their daughter, Savannah, and Billy Ray embraced the most important role of his life, fatherhood.
She'll have a wet diaper, and I'll be changing the wet diaper, and she'll wait till the diaper's off until she brings the heavy artillery.
With Kimberly and Savannah by his side, Billy Ray launched a successful career in broadcasting, joining Channel 10 as sports director in 1993. With a big smile, an even bigger laugh, and a hilarious sense of humor, he became a favorite among colleagues and Channel 10 viewers.
Channel 10 well represented in the U.S. Aerobic Championships. Look closely at the right of your screen. Our own Carol LeBeau finding time to compete in something like that. That I don't know. I get a little misty when I think about it.
He later became a San Diego radio staple on the long-running Scott and BR show, worked network television broadcasts of college and professional football, and always found time to share his insight and enthusiasm with his TV home at 10 News.
Billy Ray Smith. Thanks, Bill, for coming in.
It's great to be here.
Member of our extended 10 News family, Billy Ray Smith. Billy Ray, good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Throughout it all, his commitment to serving others never wavered. As co-founder of the Great Friends Foundation, Smith helped raise millions of dollars for local military families, touching countless lives across San Diego.
When he was drafted by the Chargers in 1983, he came into this city and he did it with a generosity of spirit, which is how he lives his life. He never said no, ever.
In early July, that spirit of service brought one more honor. Billy Ray and Kimberly were named the Nice Guys of the Year with the 46th annual gala set for October.
And I speak for Billy Ray. I stand here for the both of us today in profound gratitude.
Just one more accolade in a life filled with achievement, service, and love. College Football Hall of Famer, Chargers legend, broadcaster, philanthropist, devoted husband and father. Billy Ray Smith Jr., a man who showed that true strength is measured not just by what you accomplish, but by how many people you lift up along the way.
I am blown away by the honor. And for those of you that came out, my family, my friends, my teammates, this is why it's all worth it. Thank you very much.
That is one sharp dude. He really was. I mean, like, really handsome and clever and funny. You can see why Kim fell for him for sure.
Yeah, that was
It was really well done.
awful.
That's
I am
the
like you
third
are.
time
It
I've
was
cried
so,
to that.
It was so good, man. Holy cow, man! It blew me away.
Thank you. I couldn't quite get through it. I thought, I've done the story. I've known for days I'm going to be able to get through this, and definitely, especially after the piece was over, and I came back on right after it, I could barely keep it together, and that's probably the first time that's happened on television for me. That I did it in radio when Tony Gwynn passed away, and I was on the air. That was that was emotional. Some tears were shed that day, and but TV was the first for me that I kind of started to lose it a little bit. I'm lucky that we moved on and had to move on to a different story after that, because
was that clip that we just played? Was that
that was the 4? That was
your 4
That
o'clock?
was my 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, well, I was watching the 4 o'clock yesterday, and because you told us you were going to have the news right there at the top, I wanted to watch it again. You had already sent over that package. I wanted to see it before it aired, I guess, and it was just so touching. I remember I cried watching it with you in the morning yesterday, cried watching it live yesterday, shed some more tears again this morning. But I was watching yesterday, and at 4:06 or whatever, like right after that piece aired, I noticed even the Segway master had some trouble.
It's true, I did.
What happened?
So you heard at the end of the video there, just kind of the piano played off, and I'm sitting in my office at home watching on TV. I'm, wiping my eyes, and I go, okay, for sure they're gonna fade to black, go to a commercial break, and they did not go to a commercial break.
I got to experience Billy Ray's strength and humor many times. His handshake was almost like a rite of passage, as if he was testing to see if you could endure his incredible grip, always delivered in BR fashion with a big smile. We all want to pass our love on to Kimberly and Savannah. And Billy Ray, San Diego will miss you. In other news, gunfire erupting during a traffic stop in San Diego this morning. I'm Ben Higgins. Authorities say a San Diego police officer...
Like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
You have to go to a commercial
I don't
break
know.
there. Oh, my God. I felt so bad for you. I genuinely I was yelling.
In the rest of the shows, we just went to the commercial break. I think we realized that maybe Ben shouldn't just move on to another story. Actually, because I tossed to live reporter Karina Vargas, and they kept my mic on, and you can hear me as I toss at the end give the biggest sigh, like I can't believe I got through this at the end. Play it all the way through to the end, and you'll actually hear me like audibly sighing.
I did catch that.
In other news, gunfire erupting during a traffic stop in San Isidro this morning. I'm Ben Higgins. Authorities say a San Diego police officer shot one of the 2 men inside a stolen car. One man was rushed to the hospital while the other was taken into custody. ABC 10 News South Bay reporter Danny Miskell has the latest.
Before I tossed to Danny up. Man, I barely got through that.
You like sandwiches out there?
Yeah.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
It was honestly, it provided like knowing the awkwardness, knowing how just, media works sometimes. I was dying laughing in my chair there, and I go, I needed that after just such a sad afternoon with all the stories.
And I realize it's as sad a story as I'm going to really have, but somewhere I feel like BR was laughing at me.
Yes.
No question.
BR was looking at that and just having a big old chuckle at me trying to transition from his life to a shooting in the South Bay.
I was thinking about
incredible.
Billy Ray yesterday, and I had one story in mind that I got to experience with BR that I wanted to share this morning. And it was one of the, when I look back at it now, I didn't really think about it at the time, but when I look back at it now, it's one of the cooler experiences that I've got to have just working in sports radio or sports media. Probably 2015 this was, at Qualcomm Stadium. Every year they would have a big flag football charity tournament, and the Mighty 1090 was asked to be in the media division or whatever, and so we got to play flag football on the turf. It was really, really fun. And Billy Ray was out there playing with us. Ooh. And we were playing against, it was co-ed, we were playing against the Fox 5 news team. And we dominated them. We had Billy Ray Smith.
Talk about having a ringer on your team.
And I distinctly remember, I can visually see it in my head right now this morning. I was playing, I guess, linebacker. You don't really have positions in flag football on a charity event like that. But I was playing call it linebacker. And Billy Ray was call it the other linebacker. to see him calling out, like he got into the mode, into the zone again, and to see him start calling out plays, and he's telling like interns and girls from the sales department, all right, you're going to blitz from the left. Paulie, you come in on this side. He was calling everything out like it was, the AFC championship game, and he picked off a pass and was running up the sideline.
Who was the quarterback? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I was relatively new. This was like my first year into it. I just remember he picked off a pass and was running up the sideline, and somebody had pulled his flag, but you think that was going to stop him? Billy Ray doesn't play flag football, so he just keeps running down the sideline, and finally some girl keeps running after him to try to grab his flag. Billy Ray stiff-armed her, like choked her. And he scored that touchdown. I don't think it counted as a touchdown, but he scored that touchdown. Seeing Billy Ray, even in a flag football charity game, to see him get into football mode like that was awesome.
One of the things that I learned when he was coming out for the draft, whatever they had back in the day, the combine or, the teams would test each player individually. At least one team rated his IQ as one of the highest they had ever tested on the football field. He could look at the other offense as a defensive player and just know where everybody was supposed to be. He was incredibly gifted and smart on the football field, in addition to, of course, all of his physical attributes that he had as well.
I'd like to say something about my partner. Ben, you knocked that out of the park, man. As hard as that is to do, memorializing someone is never easy, and the way that you were able to do it, especially somebody that you knew, and you work so closely with his wife, his beloved Kimberly, and I think that makes it doubly hard, right?
I mean, I felt a huge weight of responsibility knowing.
Sure.
And Kimberly, I texted with her yesterday, and she wanted
How's
to
she
pass
doing,
along.
by the way?
It's hard. She said they're all heartbroken. And they released a statement. They were, very private about it for years, but, not a secret now that Billy Ray dealt with some serious health issues related to his football career. As Kim said, it was dementia because of CTE for the last few years. He wasn't Billy Ray anymore the last few years, unfortunately, which is why we haven't seen him around as much, but he knew about it, as he was kind of facing the last few years with a tremendous amount of dignity and grace and courage, as you would expect from Billy Ray Smith. But it's been really hard, of course, for the family this whole time. So I felt a weight of responsibility to try to make this right. Not a single effort. Wasn't me by myself. Ike Cadriel edited that piece and turned it from what was, I thought, a good piece into a legendary, retrospective of Billy Ray's life. So that I had a lot of teamwork and help to get that done as well.
For an Emmy.
I was just going to say, somebody said it in the chat, and I thought about it, like, if you don't, I'm going to be mad because that was
that would be the
one.
That
was as good. Yeah. That was as good as it gets, my friend. Kudos to you.
Awesome. I was talking with my wife last night about BR. I mean, this guy truly lived like the American dream. I mean, his life was cut way too short. We all know that, and it's so sad how it all ended for him. But this was a Texas boy that went on to the College Football Hall of Fame, drafted into the NFL, got to live the superstar lifestyle, the love of his life. He ends up going from the, middle of Texas to living on the beach, and he was like one of the kings of San Diego. And I just thought that's like the American dream. And Megan goes, it's just so sad that football gave him that life and all of those dreams and also took it away.
It's funny because Kimberly told me that his dad, Billy Ray Sr., beat the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl when he played for the Baltimore Colts. God. But then they moved to Texas, and when they moved, they all hated Billy Ray because they were all Cowboys fans, and his dad beat them. But then he won a state championship, and they were pretty much Oh, okay, no, he's one of us now. He's a Texan, true Texan for sure. So. I just want to thank all the Tier 1s for the nice comments about the story, but it really was Billy Ray's life that made that such a great story and the great guy that he was throughout his life, just in so many different ways.
No, it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. I mean, should we?
I think we have to. I
No,
mean,
absolutely.
Ben did the Channel 10
Okay.
treatment, but we got to give him
Ours is a
the
little
Ben and
different.
Woods treatment.
All right.
Billy Ray, this one's for you, you big old rascal.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Love you, BR. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we will get to the Padres' 5th consecutive win. We'll talk some baseball and more, all coming
You
up.
don't have any more, like, child cancer
I don't think so.
stories,
Right.
officer-involved shootings?
I don't think so. We'll let Woods handle the awkward transition to our commercial coming up next. Broadcasting live from our Bill House studios. We know how. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, nothing awkward about insurance at all right now, especially in this moment. If you are a business owner, if you are the CFO, if you're the HR manager of a company that has more than 25 employees, you're going to want to listen up if you haven't already. A lot of times when you sign your insurance policy, some brokers, that's the finish line. The handshake's done, the commission done. You may not hear from them again until it's time for a renewal, but your business runs all year long. So do the gaps, the questions, and the risk. That's why SuperSure is here for you. All right, they are the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like the fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Just go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies are in one place. Go to supersure.com. Supersure.com, paid for by a Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. He just here. I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Nothing. Now,
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Humul Casino Resort, now open.
David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. It is a Epic Wings, Epic Roundtable Thursday. We will go until 9 a.m. when Paulie and I will head over to the sound space and join our crew today to discuss the Padres, just days away from the trade deadline, 5-game winning streak. Lots to get to. We also have lots to get to in this program today in 3 short hours. We'll be joined by in-season Sam Levitt at 7:35, and we'll have some smart baseball with the Athletics' Eno Saris at 8:35. All of our guests appearing on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it is better. We'll also sneak in our regular segments, Don't Do This, play a little Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday, as well as we get you ready for the roundtable coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. And then, Woods, you're off on the roundtable today. That's your vacation. You get 1 hour off while you're in Hawaii.
Oh, man, my family's so grateful and thankful for that 1 hour off.
What are you and the boys going to do with that extra hour?
Yeah, it's a good question.
6 a.m. over there?
Yeah, right around 6 a.m. We'll get a little time together. Ben and I actually have to do an interview after the roundtable with Barrett Sports Media. They asked to talk to us. My guess is about the extension, which is good. So I'll finish up here because I can't really do the roundtable from here, right? We don't really do remote roundtables. I mean,
Correct.
I could, but
I can go figure that out pretty easily.
Now, as the moderator, that would be very difficult for me to try to coordinate some live people, some remote people at the same time. I'm
Terrible.
fine with you not being a part of the roundtable today.
Well, and so essentially, I'll finish up here at 9, then I'll sit here and wait for the roundtable to end. I might even listen to the roundtable, and then Ben and I will jump on our interview after that and do the piece with Barrett, and we'll call it a day. Now, my father-in-law stepped up, and because I don't know if I've ever shared this. Paul, you don't have kids. Ben, is there anything as a father that your kids wanted to do, and maybe you've even done it a couple of times, and then you said, hey, for the record, I'm never doing this again with you guys, and it doesn't matter to me how much you want to do it. Is there anything that you would, or are you a good father?
Yes,
because
my son, when he was in high school, desperately wanted, he was very into e-gaming, e-sports, and wanted to go to see, I think it was an Overwatch tournament at this studio in Burbank.
Yeah.
And it was like an all-day thing to watch like teenagers and kids play video games on a big stage all day.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it for him. He had the time of his life, but no, not going to be doing that experience of driving all day up to Los Angeles to sit in a studio to watch people play a video game that I have no idea how to play, understand it, no clue as to what's going on or what I'm even there for. That would be the thing. Like, once was enough. I'm not doing that again.
I'm actually even glad you had an example, because since I've thought about it and talked about it, I feel a little bit bad. But then I just remember the 7 previous times that I've taken my kids to putt-putt. And I have made a vow to myself and for my sanity that I will never do it again. And now there is a putt-putt here. It's massively overpriced, as you can imagine. They trick it up with some palm trees and some old Hawaiian carvings and things of that nature. That being said, it's just putt-putt. It's bank it off this wall to get it down to this hole, down this ramp. Playing putt-putt with my 2 children, Ben, makes me, it infuriates me, and it makes me so stressed out that we were driving by it last night, and they're like, Dad, putt-putt. And I go, I've told you guys, you blew it. Like, I'm not going back. You guys throw your clubs. You hit the balls way too hard. You lose them. You get us in trouble. You play up on people. You don't play fast enough. You fight about the score. You get upset if the other person does well. I go, I'm not doing it. I'm telling you, I told you, we're not going to putt-putt. So my father-in-law is like, I'll take him to putt-putt. And I looked at him and I go, you know what? Have a ball. You just signed your own death warrant, my friend. So he's taking them to putt-putt. So I actually will have a little time today to hang out a little bit. Hannah's going to go look at some houses here on Kauai, not to purchase, just to look at. The raise we got was decent, but it's not.
You're falling for that one, huh?
No, we're not.
Are you going to go check out some radio shows while you're there as well? Not to join, just to watch and see how they do things.
Yeah. I'm going to pop in and be like, hey guys, it's Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan. So yeah, man, I just said, he goes, oh, I'll take him, and I go, all right, dude. Like, you think it's ego? It's his ego thinking, well, I've raised plenty of children. I know how to do this. He thinks he can do this. And I looked at him and I go, all right, man, have fun.
I was a huge miniature golf fan growing up, so I probably had the same experience. My parents probably felt like, but I took it very seriously. Like,
that's over here lining up putts.
Yeah, I took it very, very seriously. But there has been a phenomenon.
Did you bring a green reader to putt?
Exactly.
No, you brought your own
putter. Yeah. Golf balls.
God.
You can't make it with those multicolored balls. You need a real golf ball. But nowadays they're trying to make these putt-putt courses a little more like subtle and aesthetic, and I just think that's wrong. Miniature golf should be like over the top windmills with, ramps and everything. That's what makes miniature golf fun. Now they're they're making it more serious with this is this tells the cultural story of the Hawaiian people while we play golf, like miniature golf. I'm not looking for
exactly that. Right. It's exactly right. And they don't appreciate it. So I'll be here, and but yeah, I'll probably watch the roundtable and see how you guys do. And I'm interested.
Who is our guest today? I asked
Julian.
Oh yeah, Julian Delgodio from Fox 5 is going to join us.
I'm interested in talking about this team because guess what? after 5 straight wins, a week away from the trade deadline. Guess what? They're interesting again. They're an interesting team.
They are. We'll get to our Padres wrap-up.
They are.
They made a move before the game yesterday. Matt Waldron got DFA'd in order to reactivate Jeremiah Estrada from the injured list, which did come into play during the game yesterday. We'll now see what the Padres do about Matt Waldron. Of course, already DFA'd Ron Marinaccio last week, and they ended up trading him for cash considerations. I wonder if Matt Waldron's going to be claimed. It's weird that you've got a team that doesn't have even close to enough pitching, but you also have too much pitching, and you can't keep all the pitchers you have, and other teams are eager to steal the pitchers that you don't have room for on your roster. It's like the Padres are in this no man's land of pitching where they don't have nearly enough, and they also have too much.
I mean, they
at the
have
same time.
pitching in the sense that, like, yeah, Jake Cronenworth could pitch for them. Fernando Tatis Jr. could pitch for them. Matt Waldron could pitch for them, but are you getting a lot of good, productive innings? Not really.
But enough that other teams want to steal it from you if you don't have room for it. So,
did somebody swipe Matt Waldron?
Not yet. We'll find out. If no one does and he accepts a demotion, an assignment to AAA, then they could keep him in the organization. But because he has no options, it's his choice. He could become a free agent. Another team could claim him, or he can stay with the Padres and go to AAA. But that'll be up to him. And I think, what is it, like 7 days or something from DFA before they make that final decision. So we'll find out. But let's get into the game yesterday. It actually was one of the better pitched games we've seen by the Padres in quite some time from a couple of unexpected sources as well. Pitching chaos comes through. We'll get to our Padres wrap-up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's your latest traffic update.
Leaving Del Mar on the 5 southbound looks great getting into La Jolla. You can continue taking that past the 8 into downtown San Diego. No delays on your ride. I'm Abby Curlette, Odyssey San Diego Traffic.
Brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
I love winning, man. I love winning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing. Are you ready?
How did things play out in yesterday's game?
I liked last night's game.
It's time for the
Padres wrap-up
with Ben and Woods.
You guys are the voice of San Diego.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, the rooftop pool's open, day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
Here's the pitch. Jackson reaches for it, grounds it to the left side. It'll go through into left field and a base hit. Cronenworth is scored, Machado held, and an RBI single for Jackson Merrill brings home the first run of the day. Rengifo swings. It's a ground ball towards first. Rumfield charges. Only play is at first base, so hit the bag. Machado comes in to score. It's 2-0. And Sheets hits it high in the air to right field. McCarthy backing up. He's got room. He will make the catch. France tagging at third on his way. McCarthy's throw will come in towards second base. A sac fly for Gavin Sheets, and the Padre lead is 3-0. 2-1, and a hard hit grounder. That's through the right side and a base hit. Castro going to be waved at third. Fernando comes up throwing. The play at the plate, and he's in safely with a head-first slide. So Brett Sullivan, an RBI single, gets the Rockies on the board, and it's 3-1. Estrada kicks and fires, and a swing and a miss, strike three. After a lead walk to Cole Carrick, Jeremiah Estrada bounces back and strikes out the side. Miller kicks and fires, and that's it in the air to center field. Merrill back just a couple of steps. He's there. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Padres take care of business in this two-game set against the Rockies. They do the mini sweep and win this one by a final of 3-1.
You know, anytime you only give up one run in a game, you feel pretty good about it. So those guys did their job. They pitched in their lanes, and they really did exceptional. It wasn't just that they pitched well, but they pitched very well, as good as they can pitch. So pitch like that, you know, we're going to win a lot of ball games.
You've been talking, all you guys, for a long time about how you could go on a run. The fact that you are, you know, kind of starting one now, what does that say?
It's just how baseball goes, you know. Eventually, if you stick with it, keep a good attitude, continue to work hard, you know, show up to the ballpark every day ready to go, eventually you're going to figure out a way to get on a good streak, and the schedule is going to be favorable to you, and you're just going to go for it. Bats will get hot, defense will keep playing good, pitching will kind of come together at the same time, and that's what we've kind of seen over the last 5 days.
Padres win their 5th in a row. I believe it's their second longest winning streak of the season. As everyone in the chat mentioning, they won 8 straight back in April. But as K-Law has also said, that also included a sweep of the Rockies. And Craig Stammen said after the game, that is kind of how baseball works. You play sometimes well, you play sometimes poorly. Sometimes it all comes together, and then sometimes it all comes together and the schedule kind of helps you as well when you face teams that aren't in it or aren't as good. And if you take advantage, that's how you put together some winning streaks. And right now the Padres are both playing some good baseball, and they're facing some opponents that haven't been playing great baseball, and they have capitalized by winning 5 in a row, Woods.
Yeah, man. Real workman-like effort yesterday, right? Like nothing super spectacular. Just a job done, a job well done, actually. Going out and handling your business against the Colorado Rockies yesterday, it was spectacular, man. And being able to bank 5 wins in a row. It's what we were looking for from this team. And again, I know, man, it can go. I see it all the time. Well, it's just the Marlins and the Rockies. I'm like, yeah, okay, but those games still count. You know, they don't not count. They don't only count for a half a game or a half a win. Full major league win right there yesterday, and 5 of them in a row. So it's what you're asking for. One of my favorite coaching adages is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that can be an inning, that can be a game, that can be a season, that can be whatever you want it to be. But it's so true. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So, very, very pleased to see that yesterday. Kudos to a few people, right? Kyle Hart. We said yesterday on the show, if he's going, just let him go. It's not like you don't need the innings, be able to be flexible with your plan, and pitched into the 3rd. And then Griffin Canning was outstanding yesterday. Credit where credit is due. He was outstanding and got you what you needed and then some, in my opinion, Benny.
I thought it was a really smart game plan by the Padres as well. Kyle Hart, begins the game. Lefty, got a couple of lefties at the top of the order, but some dangerous righties. Get some help from Jake Cronenworth, who makes one of the plays of the season there in the first inning. Just an unbelievable dive and throw for the second out. And then Hunter Goodman's coming up. He's the guy who can really hurt you, especially lefty on righty. 31 home runs. And Kyle Hart was fine, not really giving him anything to hit. Yeah, he walked him with 2 outs. And I think they were all cool with that. The game plan seemed to be, don't let Hunter Goodman beat us, especially with Kyle Hart on the mound. Did give up a soft single after that, but escaped the first inning jam, and then got all the way into the 3rd, 2 2/3 innings, and then they didn't let him face Hunter Goodman again, which makes a lot of sense. You're just not going to let him beat you. You bring in Griffin Canning, who, I think people were nervous. Canning gives up a lot of home runs, but he comes in with some adrenaline, blows Hunter Goodman away the first time in a righty-on-righty matchup. It was a well-crafted game plan by Ruben Niebla and Craig Stammen and Ben Fritz on how to manage the early innings in that game with 2 guys who haven't been, you look at the ERAs, not particularly effective for the Padres, but very effective in the game yesterday, especially, Woods, with how they were used.
Well, no question. And, again, you always look like a genius, right? And why does Craig Stammen look like a genius? Because his pitchers went out and executed, like that plan, Ben. We could be sitting here this morning talking about what a horrific plan it was if, one of those guys throws a belt-high fastball that one of the Rockies hits out of the yard. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous premise what we do for a living, and it's a ridiculous premise to say, that Craig Stammen really deserves credit for how he managed it. Honestly, you put the guys in, they got their job done, and he came away with a win. It's again why I'm always reluctant to praise managers or hitting coaches or rip managers or hitting coaches. The players went out yesterday. They executed almost perfectly, and they got you a win.
And Stammen even got second-guessed in the post-game scrum when he was asked, were you Were you tempted to leave Griffin Canning in there? I mean, 3 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. He picked off the only guy that got to first base. He was only at like 40 pitches. Why not leave him in and preserve your bullpen? And Craig Stammen said, I mean, yes, we thought about that, but we had already come up with our plan for the game. And don't you always want to take out a guy a little too early rather than a little too late? And ultimately it worked for the San Diego Padres in a game where they did not get the bats going. I will say that Gabriel Hughes, who was making his 5th career start for the Colorado Rockies, not a bad little arm. That ball was moving. Yeah. It was hard to square up for Padres batters who came into the game very hot. They only really put together the one rally where they scored the 3 runs. Had a couple other opportunities. Let's see. One for 9 with runners in scoring position. So the Padres did leave some ducks on the pond in that game, as it were, but they didn't square a lot up. It wasn't the bunch of extra base hits. I think the lead double by Fernando Tatis Jr. to start the game was the only extra base hit of the entire game yesterday. So this was truly a pitcher's duel and not something we've seen a lot from the San Diego Padres over the last month and a half or so. A lot of them in the early part of the season, almost none of them the last month or so.
Yeah, I mean, and you bring up the point of, isn't it always better to get a guy out too early? I mean, again, crystal balls would be really helpful in baseball. I don't know why they haven't invented and employed the crystal ball yet for the game of baseball, but you see it all the time, and you see it in the playoffs. This guy's cruising right now. He's through 6 2/3, but boy, they're coming up. They're going to get their 3rd, 4th look at a guy. Do you take him out? Well, you can certainly justify taking him out. You can also justify leaving him in. It's one of those weird positions, but I think when you have a guy like Griffin Canning who has struggled mightily, what that was able to do for his confidence yesterday, it's got to be through the roof, man. And pitching now with a little bit more swagger, a little bit more attitude because he went out and got the job done. I thought it was really well played.
Now, be honest, Doomers. When Jeremiah Estrada came in and walked the first batter, you were going, oh no, he doesn't have a release point. This is a disaster. Craig Stammen, why would you bring in Jeremiah Estrada in a close game after he hasn't pitched since June? And then Jeremiah Estrada went strikeout, and you're reminded why Jeremiah Estrada is a key piece to this Padres bullpen, and they are very glad to have him back. All right, we will come back. Hour number 2 will feature Sammy Levitt and Don't Do This, and when we return, a very interesting AAA debut for one Ethan Salas yesterday. All that and more coming up next with Bennett Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hot.
Max in our YouTube stream says, am I the only one who got annoyed at the Salas promotion? When does the minor league season end anyway? Yeah, that's a weird reaction, Max. I didn't see a lot of annoyance. I question whether it was the right time for it, possibly. Dennis Lynn joined us yesterday, and he told us really they were probably going to do it about a month ago, but he was dealing with some, an oblique or an abdominal, so they decided to leave him at Double-A, and it was time. And yesterday, Padres top prospect Ethan Salas made his debut for the El Paso Chihuahuas, and it was impressive. A double, a triple, and a single. A couple of those were very hard-hit balls to the wall. I think the tracker was down for one of them, but definitely like over 100-mile-an-hour exit velocities, maybe closer to 110 on the triple into the gap in right field. And, a lot of confidence for Ethan Salas as he comes up. And I saw some of the numbers yesterday, Woods. He is the youngest, regular position player in all of AAA and 4 years younger than the average player in that league. So he is he's very advanced for where he is at his age. I mean, just turned 20, like a month or two ago, and is now competing at the AAA level. And obviously in day one looked like he could certainly hold his own at El Paso.
Yeah, good for him, man. That's he's every time you get a promotion and new teammates. He probably knows a bunch of them and has played with them in spring training and whatever. But you get there and you're like, all right. And the young kid in the clubhouse, you can go out and get some knocks and have a really good game. And enjoyed that a lot from Ethan Salas. Keep Ethan Salas, by the way. Just keep him.
I also want to get everybody updated on where the Padres stand in the wild card race after yesterday. And since we got the short show today, why don't we just get to our look around the rest of baseball? It is time.
Oh, early reach around.
Yes, an early MLB reach around.
Wow.
They're doing the
reach around.
They're doing the
reach around.
Everybody's doing the
reach around. Yeah, Padres continue to move up in the standings. In fact, as we wake up this morning, they are now the first team out of a playoff spot in the National League. 5 days ago, when they started this winning streak, they were the fifth team out of a playoff spot, and we were going, well, yeah, you're only 2.5 games out, but you've got all these teams ahead of you. No longer have all these teams ahead of them. They are just a game and a half behind both the Diamondbacks and the Phillies, who are tied for now the second wild card spot, which means you got two teams the opportunity to chase down right now to get into a playoff spot. The Diamondbacks completed their series yesterday with the Pittsburgh Pirates, getting a gem from Eduardo Rodriguez. Again, 8 shutout innings as they blanked the Pirates 3-0. And they'll probably have to face Eduardo Rodriguez early in that series in Arizona next week. He's been probably the most consistent and best pitcher for the Diamondbacks this season. That leaves them atop the wild card race. Meanwhile, the Phillies lost to the Marlins 8-6, and not just any old loss, Woods. They blew a 6-0 lead and were swept by the team that had lost 12 in a row going into that series. So you can dismiss what the Padres did against the Marlins and go, they lost 12 in a row. They came right back and swept the Phillies after the Padres left town in Miami.
That's pretty incredible, and they are. We touched on it briefly at the end of the show. They're imploding from within right now. And listen, it doesn't mean that this team is going to continue to circle the drain. They've got a ton of veteran leadership on that team, but it is one of the most interesting situations that you could find in baseball this year. A lot of interesting stories, but this is near the top of the list with Bryce Harper. Doing something that I think all veterans that want to win a World Series do. They're telling the GM and the president of baseball ops to go out and make a move. We need some help here. We need some reinforcements. Well, rarely do you find a manager that will then go to the press later on that day and say, yeah, I don't like what my highly paid veteran clubhouse leader Bryce Harper said. When he says we need help, that means there's somebody on this team he doesn't like, somebody that needs to go. And I thought it was fascinating. Just to throw a little bit more, to gum up the works a little bit more, the general manager is the manager's son. And so it's as days of our lives as you could get right now in Philly. Now, you'll also remember, guys, the offseason. Dave Dombrowski goes on a local radio show or a national show and says, Bryce Harper's good, but he's not elite anymore. Bryce Harper then shows up the next week in a not elite T-shirt and is working out. I mean, it is as petty and fraught with peril as it could be in Philly. Now, we would love. I got to text my boy John Marks that works in Philly and go, how juicy is this for you? I mean, this is like this is what you dream of, right? If you're a morning show in Philly, this is it. You're doing 2 hours on Don Mattingly, interim manager's comments on Bryce Harper. It is riveting.
What do you even do if you're in Philly right now? You're still talking about LeBron to the Sixers. You got Eagles training camp in like a week.
Oh, my God.
And then you got the Phillies, which is just like you said, for all the reasons that you just listed, incredibly interesting.
We would be screaming at each other before the show about like, what should we do? You know, we should probably hit LeBron again. I'm like, we got to do this Mattingly story. I mean, it would be amazing.
I tend to think, I mean, the Phillies have already gone through one early season collapse that led to the firing of a manager.
Yeah.
So they've shown that they can turn it around, and I'm not going to doubt them that they can probably turn it around again. Still 2 months left in the season. So I don't think they're going away. But for the Padres, to me, like one of the biggest regrets here now of the first 4 months of the season is how poorly you played against the Phillies and getting swept in the entire season series, all 6 games. I did the numbers yesterday. I tweeted it out. So the records of the Padres and the Phillies when not facing each other, Padres are 55-47. The Phillies are 51-52. But then, of course, the 6 games puts the Phillies ahead and gives them the tiebreaker over the Padres. So those games loom very large for both teams going forward in how the Phillies just dominated the season series over the Padres this year.
Man, and just sneakily, right? Just sneakily, the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? As you mentioned, just sneakily lying in the weeds, just real consistent, playing much better. You know, they've had not great pitching. I mean, you know, they have their Musgrove and Pivetta, you know, in their rotation this year, and they've been terrible. And somehow you look up, they're 5 games above 500, coming out of the break hot. And, yeah, there they sit, Benny, in the second wild card.
Padres, I believe, are 3-3 against the Diamondbacks. They split the 2 games in Mexico and then split the 4-game series at Petco Park, but they have 7 games remaining, the 4 in Arizona next week, and then 3 at Petco Park later in the season. Whoever wins that season series, I mean, whoever takes the best of 7 remaining has a tiebreaker, picks up a game in the standings. I think the games against the Diamondbacks are the most important games the Padres will play the rest of the season. At least, you know, big picture view from right now, that can obviously change, but that certainly looks like where we're heading.
Certainly can't argue against that.
Yeah. Elsewhere yesterday, the St. Louis Cardinals beat the Chicago Cubs 3-2 in the 10th inning. That game was scoreless through 9. Then PCA hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 10th, and then St. Louis rallied for 3 with a walk-off double by Ivan Herrera to get the win. The Blue Jays beat the Nationals. More help from the Blue Jays, 5-2. Trey Savage went 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run. So in the last 5 days, the Padres have passed the Nationals, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Marlins in the standings to get to that first spot out of a wild card. The Dodgers doubled up the Mariners 4-2. Eric Lauer, 6 innings, just 1 hit in what he thinks is potentially his final start for the Dodgers because they have all these pitchers coming back. They may trade him, flip him for some prospects that they could then use in another deal for potentially an ace pitcher or someone else down the stretch. But
they don't have to move anybody to get enough prospects.
They don't have to, but they don't have room on their roster for everybody once they bring back Snell and Glass now, and some of they're not going to be able to keep Lauer, and he's a valuable commodity. Lauer, of course, is going, I'm very comfortable here. I don't really want to go anywhere, but he kind of sees the writing on the wall that he might be trade bait here this next weekend for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Imagine being another GM and you're looking at the Los Angeles Dodgers as a trade partner, and you go, "Yeah, I'll take Eric Lauer instead of, you know, the massive amounts of other really much better players." And
sure, but Eric Lauer helps your rotation right now potentially, whereas you know, their prospects may not help you for another year or two down the line.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're to the point. We said it yesterday. I was talking to my father-in-law, who's a Dodger fan. I said, "Yeah, man, he was all worried. They lost a couple to the Mariners, and Robleski did this." And I go, "Dude, you're good. You got Glass now, and you got Snell coming back, and you got Edwin Diaz coming back after." No, he was not suspended for cockfighting. They let the cockfighting slide. He was injured. No, there will be no repercussions for running and betting on illegal cockfighting. So, listen, he's gonna beat those charges. Nobody's surprised by that at all. There'll be a 6-part podcast coming out on ESPN at some point, letting us know why cockfighting is actually good and why Edwin Diaz should not be in trouble for it. I can't wait for that to drop. But no, man, that would be such a Dodgers move to flip Eric Lauer for actual good players or prospects to get a good player. That would be such a Dodgers move.
The San Francisco Giants flew down to San Diego last night, waking up in a hotel room this morning. Before that, though, they crushed the Brewers 16-3. Daniel Susak hit a pair of home runs, his first 2 of the season for the Giants, who open a 4-game series tonight against the Padres at Petco Park. The Mets and Braves split a doubleheader. Mets won the first game 3-2. Braves took the second game 1-0 behind Chris Sale, who was once again good like he was against the Padres. 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. The Rays blanked the Rangers 3-0. Bullpen game for the Rays, who got 2 home runs in the first inning, including 15th of the year by Yandy Diaz. The White Sox rallied from behind, down 4-0 early after a Spencer Jones home run, but Davis Martin kept them in it, and they rallied to win it in 12, 6-5 over the Yankees. Royals over the Twins 4-0. Randy Dobnak, 7 innings, 4 hits. The Guardians beat the Reds 6-1 to take 2 of 3 in the Battle of Ohio. The Orioles came from behind to maybe end the Detroit Tigers' hopes of contention. So they had a 7-0 lead with Tarek Skubal on the mound.
Yep.
And they lost.
Ooh. Yeah.
That is
that's it.
I know how badly we felt when the Padres lost to the Royals last Friday, and we thought that was it. Multiply that by like a factor of 2 or 3, and you get how Tigers fans feel in what was probably Tarek Skubal's last start, and they lose after leading 7-0 against the Baltimore Orioles.
And I still see reports, well, they don't have to get rid of Tarek Skubal. And then, I think, again, we talk a lot about assessing your team and what it actually looks like. And, where it ain't over till it's over. And if we get rid of Skubal, that's such a signal that we are moving on. But, man, you look at it, 4.5 out of a wild card, Benny. It doesn't look great. I mean, it just doesn't look great. And I think if you have to kind of follow the Shohei Ohtani, the anti-Shohei Ohtani plan, right? Like, you can't let this guy go for a comp pick, for some mythical. Paul, you usually have these handy and fan graphs. What are their odds to make the playoffs? The Detroit Tigers.
Are they still better than the Padres odds, who I think have moved up to 22% in the last 5 days from 7?
So the AL Central's crazy. The Guardians have a 53% chance. The White Sox have a 42% chance. The Twins have a 30% chance. The Tigers are at 24.5.
The Tigers have a better chance of making the playoffs right now than the Padres.
Padres are at 21.5.
Does that make any sense to anyone? I mean,
just the quality quality of
I mean, yes, because they can still win a division. They can go on a run late. The wild card is not as hard to win, but the Padres have passed all those other teams. They are playing really good baseball. They're probably going to buy. Yeah. The Tigers are likely going to sell.
It's because they're in fourth place. It doesn't make any sense. They're in 4th place in their division. They're 6 games back. 4th place in the NL West is 22 games back, the Giants.
Yeah, they are 7 games below 500 right now. But again, if you're a Tigers fan, are you hanging on to hope of making the playoffs and going on any sort of a run? I don't know. And I think the risk of being able to potentially set your franchise up with a giant package that could choke a rhino, I think you have to do it. And if not, there's a really good blueprint out there that you can look at as what not to do. And that, of course, is the Los Angeles Angels letting, I think their playoff percentage at that point was like 7%. So they're clinging to a fingernail of hope. And you have to do it, man. You just have to do it. You got to get rid of Tarek Skubal. I know where he's going to go. and I don't want to see it. It's going to make me sick to my stomach, but I think we all know the writing is on the wall here.
Wrapping up the reach around, the Red Sox have now won 10 of 11 on the road. They needed extra innings to do it, getting a 2-run homer by Andrew Monasterio in the 10th to beat the A's 4-2. And the Astros topped the Angels 7-4. Houston climbing back to the 500 mark for the first time since April 7th, and they, of course, are very much in a tight American League West race right now as they try to chase down the Texas Rangers, who fortified themselves for the run with one of the first deadline deals of the week when they acquired reliever Chase Silseth and catcher Logan O'Hoppe from the Angels. So Skip Schumacher getting some reinforcements, obviously not huge names, but they need a couple of bodies in the bullpen and behind the plate, and they were able to do that yesterday in an early deal with the Los Angeles Angels.
I had not realized how bad Logan O'Hoppe has been. I really had no idea, and he's apparently one of the worst defensive catchers and offensive catchers in baseball. But Skip and the crew think they can make something out of him. Need a little help back there, but he's as bad as it gets. I remember there was a time we were salivating. Well, for the Padres, they're catching core over the last few years, but we were salivating to try to go out and get a Logan O'Hoppe. Now Skip Schumacher will have his chance with him, and, of course, getting an extra bullpen arm, too.
All right, when we come back, it'll be time for Don't Do This before Sammy Levitt joins us at the bottom of the hour. What happens when all you want to do is go out for a nice Korean barbecue dinner and you end up in the wrong country?
I saw this. This is great. This is very heavy golf.
It is golf. Well, I mean, it could happen to anyone, I think. It's not really.
Please continue to listen.
Please do, yes. First, though, no athlete gets to the highest level alone. There's always a coach, always a strategy. Retirement shouldn't be any different. Trying to navigate market swings, inflation, and healthcare costs on your own can be overwhelming, especially with everything changing so fast. That's where Trajan Wealth comes in. TRAJANwealth.com. Their fiduciary advisors take the time to understand your goals, your risk tolerance, and your timeline. They're independent, so they're not locked into one product or one approach. Everything is customized. Trajan Wealth is local with offices in Carlsbad, Escondido, and Liberty Station, and they work with people who want confidence and not constant worry. So if you've got an old 401k like I did, or some investments you haven't looked at in a while, this is the time to take another look. You can start by calling 1-855-TRAJAN1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN1, or just take a couple of minutes online at TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Actual client, paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com. Back with more Ben and Woods next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Ben and Woods brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. I will start with, I think, a story that could happen actually here in San Diego. It happened, though, in Detroit, where they're getting ready to play the Rocket Mortgage Championship PGA Tour event starting later today. And the story comes from Michael Kim, Torrey Pines High School grad, shot a 59 last week. It's about his fellow PGA Tour golfer, Si-Woo Kim. It says, Si-Woo Kim's story. There's a solid Korean barbecue restaurant I always go to when I'm in Detroit. I text Si-Woo, want to grab dinner tonight at this place. He goes, sure. He searches the name of the restaurant on Google Maps and without much thinking starts driving. But before it's too late, he realizes that he's about to go across the U.S. border into Canada. There was a restaurant under the same name closer to him in Canada. So, yeah, Detroit's right across the border from Canada, just like we are across the border from Mexico.
Yeah,
he
Windsor.
doesn't have a passport, just his wallet. He tries to turn back, but it's already too late. It's a one-way, and there are multiple signs telling him he can't turn back. He drives to the gate, talks to the officer. I'm driving to dinner with a friend. I came here by accident, he says. The officer goes, okay, don't worry, happens all the time, actually, but I can't let you go back, so you have to go across to Canada, then talk to the officers on the other side. He drives across, waits in line for 45 minutes. He finally gets to an officer, tries to explain. He's super nervous, tries to explain what happened. He points to his courtesy car and says, I'm here for the golf tournament. Officer's not sure what to do, so they drive his car to the side, call another officer, then another, until there's 8 officers surrounding his car, talking to him and each other. They check the car for weapons, ask him if he has any drugs, stuff like that, and then they finally do let him through. Does make it to dinner a couple of hours late, but I have done that where I've driven, and if you're not paying attention going south on the 5, and like all of a sudden it's like last exit before Mexico, and it's like you miss that, and you are heading into Tijuana, and there's not much you can do about it. Has this happened, I wonder, to any Tier 1s here in San Diego?
Oh, I'm sure. It happened to me a little bit on a military base. I went in and I can't remember what I was doing, but I said, I've come to the wrong exit, and I need to turn around. And it was not as simple as, yeah, go ahead, have fun. It was like a thing, right? So totally get that. I have lost track so many times of where I was driving. It's not even funny. This is a real let them eat cake moment, Benjamin. I wonder if you will appreciate this, or have you seen it yet? But female golfer Charlie Hull, well, she played a prank on her caddy, and I'll let her explain what she did.
And it's good because I love playing for money, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's why I think I play so well in the majors, because even if I'm quite a lot behind, I'm like, come on, ads, let's make loads of birdies today, extra dollars for me and him to get. Actually, talking of money today, I was went to a prank shop in Blackpool last night, and I got some scratch cards. So we go into the players' lounge this morning, and I was like, Ads, I got some scratch cards from the shop. He was like, yeah. And this one was like $100,000. And we've got it all on record. He's like scratching it. He's like, oh my gosh, I've won. He's taking his hat off. He's taking his glasses off. He's literally running around the players' lounge saying, I've won $100,000. I'm taking today off. His face looks so happy. He was sweating. He was trembling. He couldn't believe his luck. And then we had to tell him it was fake, and he nearly quit the job.
Yeah.
I got it all on camera.
No one's laughing, by the way, at her
she got
prank.
fake scratcher
tickets. You can buy what looks like real lotto scratchers that have big wins, but they're fake. So they're just to what I guess some people think it's funny to let someone feel like they just had one of the greatest moments ever and then rip it away from them.
Yeah.
That's humorous to people.
Yeah, your caddy, by the way. They work for you. They carry your bags. They clean your clubs. They probably polish your shoes and get you all dialed and walk you from everywhere you need to go and take care of you. Hey, you know what would be really funny? I'm going to put a sandwich on the end of this fishing line and throw it over to him, and then I'll just reel it back because I know he's starving because he's broke, and I'll just reel it back really funny and make him run
and
for
laugh
it.
at him, and I'll film the whole thing. It's all
it's
on
great.
record.
I'm going to film
it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So funny to do that. Now, here's the thing. She's obviously facing. Look, there's two sides of the coin, guys. It's a joke. Big deal. They're close. Blah blah blah. The other side is the backlash that comes from this. In these times when everybody is scuffling a little bit, right? In these times, someone's going to start a GoFundMe for the guy and give him his $100,000 at some point. He's probably going to make some money off of this. But yeah, man, like humiliating people like that. For entertainment is really something.
Callie's all day in the chat says my wife did that to me for my birthday once. $25,000 I thought I won.
Oh my God.
KG says
I'd be legitimately upset.
Isn't it funny when poor people think they won't be poor anymore?
Yeah, it's one of the best pranks you can play. So good.
All right, finally a little do this.
DD mega do.
I mean, I don't think it's a do this, but this is for you, Woods.
This is for me.
Paulie's story yesterday about how Ohio State is going to be making millions and millions of dollars for the Chase logo on all their
one logo on every uniform in the whole athletic department. Like every team going to wear the Chase Bank logo, and it was like $17 million a year.
That record stood for about 5 hours when Notre Dame announced a multi-year deal with SoFi Technologies that will place the financial service company's brand on the Fighting Irish's jersey in every sport starting this season. The 6-year deal is worth about $18 to $20 million a year, according to industry sources, and believed to be the richest in college athletics history. Did they get the idea from Ohio State and then just make it happen in 2 hours, or I assume they had been working on it in advance?
I mean, I
just
feel like
later.
A deal of that magnitude. But maybe once you see the Ohio State deal announced, you call the guy at SoFi and say, let's get this thing done. Let's get it done. Let's get it done now. I'll sweeten the deal for you. Boom. And, they got it. Now, I saw another tweet last night, Ben, their football program, projected value of $2.1 billion in 2026.
It's not like you can buy the Notre Dame football program.
What do you mean? It's their valuation. It's what they're worth.
Right, but it's not like a Major League Baseball team that you could sell it. Like, is Notre Dame thinking of selling the team? What's the valuation like? That's how much they don't earn that much every year. Like if they were a professional team, that's what they would be worth, $2.1 billion.
Yeah, it's what the valuation of the program is worth. But I mean, the more revenue you have, the more you're worth.
Sure.
The more players you can get.
I saw Josh
facilities.
Pastner, who's the UNLV basketball coach, got in a bit of hot water when he said, if anyone would like to buy the UNLV basketball team, we'll own it, we'll sell it to you. And he said, I was kind of joking. I mean, we'd love someone to just give us a few $100 million and you can be like our main benefactor, but you don't actually get to own the team. It's not for sale. It's a public university basketball team, and Notre Dame's a private university, but still, you can't buy their football team for any price, I would imagine.
But I was told by many on this radio station that skipping that Pop-Tart Bowl was going to be the death knell.
It was a
for,
bad look, wasn't it?
The
bad look.
program.
Bad
I mean, it's crushed them so far. They're top 4 recruiting class and worth $2.1 billion. So
they've moved on. They've moved on admirably, Woods.
Yes, they have. No, thank you.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I just started thinking about it all over again, how much I don't care about any bowl games out now that the college football playoff system exists, and those are the only games that matter. I could not care less about really any other bowl game.
I did see that Lincoln Riley and his group they voted for, I think it was like a 24-team playoff.
I'm okay with that because that means more.
Yeah, I mean, as a
USC
fan, you should be. And that make it 50.
I mean, make it 64, just like the NCAA tournament.
San Diego State have a chance.
That'd probably be the only chance if they had a 64-team tournament for the football team to get in.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, in-season Sammy Levitt is going to join us, see what Sammy's been up to as he's covered this 5-game Padres winning streak, broadcasting live from our Bill House studios. We know how. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
See, they don't fake you out at 7 Mile Casino. When your cards say 21, they don't go, oh, no, we were just kidding. Those are fake 21 cards.
Fake
Joking.
ace.
No, you actually win real money at San Diego's best card room, whether you're playing California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, Pai Gow, or Baccarat. No fake scratchers or fake playing cards at 7 Mile Casino.
No, I mean, I've won there, and it seems like everyone's genuinely happy for you when you win. Great place, really, really light, really airy, right off the freeway, right off the 5. Just
sounds
so
like a
easy
souffle.
To get to. Yes, light, and I'm sure they make a delicious souffle there. But I know the food there is spectacular too. It is a smoke-free environment as well. It's a great place to go, man. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you choose.
Brunch this weekend, the best brunch in the South Bay, just Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Sammy's at 7 Mile. Enjoy it out on the patio with the great views of San Diego Bay. Check it out today. Check it out this weekend at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
He just here. I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Not that now.
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee
It's going to in a second.
right here.
Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Going to be giving away some more Guns N' Roses tickets. I think we're going to try to do that before the top of the hour, if I remember. So stay tuned for your opportunity to win tickets to the concert at Snapdragon Stadium coming up on September the 2nd. Padres do open a 4-game series against the San Francisco Giants tonight at Petco Park at 6:40, and it'll be Robbie Ray on the mound for the Giants and TBD once again pitching for your San Diego Padres. Craig Stammen was not only not able to commit to a starting pitcher last night, even though it's kind of the J.P. Sears day. Does that mean he comes in first, second, third? We don't know. He was also asked about Walker Buehler and got really confused. He didn't even know what day of the week it was because he was going to say, Walker Buehler is going to, he'll pitch on his normal 5 days rest. And then someone said, well, what about the off day on Monday? And he goes, then he'll pitch in his normal day, which is, and he goes, well, what day is it today? And someone said Wednesday. I think this pitching thing is going to be a bit confusing for everybody involved for a while.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm kind of losing track of time here as well. It all kind of runs together, but yeah, I mean, you're cobbling it together. You're cobbling it, but you're calling it chaos. And so, based on what they used yesterday, Benny, my guess is they could do an opener again today. Wandy Peralta, if they so choose. Wandy only threw 11 pitches yesterday. Randy Vasquez is way out there for bulk innings. He hasn't pitched since Saturday. Yuki Matsui is very fresh. He could open. There's some options there.
Well, let's see what Sammy Levitt has to say. Joining us on our SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It is better. Our pre- and post-game show host here on 97.3 The Fan. Sam Levitt joins us now on 97.3 The Fan. Hello, Sammy.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Hi, Samuel.
Yeah, it's a little confusing for people who cover the team as well, trying to keep track of Padres pitchers and availability and who might be starting, who might be bulk, and how it's going to work. But I thought Craig Stammen made an interesting point yesterday. He goes, if it's confusing for us, it also makes it very hard for the other team to prepare for who they are going to face. Because if we don't know, they don't know either.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, right? There is an element of unpredictability to it all. And look, there have been some pretty good examples, albeit against, two struggling teams in Miami and Colorado, but some pretty good examples of, essentially the Padres, just from a a starter's perspective or a quote-unquote starter's perspective, them cobbling together quality outings. I thought yesterday was a good example of it. I mean, if you put it this way, because the problem was starting pitching, right, and getting these guys through enough innings and obviously, being more effective as well. But yesterday you had Kyle Hart and Griffin Canning essentially give you 5 2/3 scoreless innings between the two of them. And, I thought a good example of it was when Randy Vasquez and J.P. Sears, essentially gave you 6 innings of 1-run ball in Miami on the Saturday. That's when I think this really, really works well, is when you essentially use 2 guys, maybe even 3 guys to essentially give you a good start. And then you can really get into your bullpen and your leverage group if needed. And, look, it has worked pretty well so far. So I agree with you, Ben. I think there's an element of unpredictability to it. I would imagine it's not comfortable for the opposition. I think the key question here is how long can you make this work? Is this a sustainable strategy? Is it a sustainable strategy against better teams? I don't know. That's a really key question, and we're probably going to have more information on how that's going to look and if they're going to have to keep doing this by the time Monday afternoon rolls around and we know what their approach at the trade deadline was. But it is interesting and it is unpredictable, and I think to this point it's worked pretty well.
Yeah, it has. You are a bit on the razor's edge, and I thought I really enjoyed the way that they deployed it yesterday. And again, Sammy, you look like a genius after the game in the way that Craig Stammen pushed the buttons. But if Canning comes in and pitches like he had really most times he's been on the mound, your plan backfires. If Kyle Hart loads the bases in the first inning, the plan you are living on a razor's edge. You ask if it's sustainable. It's not. It's completely unsustainable. So, if this team wants to do anything, they're going to have to find a way to get some arms in here. Really no updates on Pivetta or Joe Musgrove or anything of that nature. It's hard for us to count on really anything from them. So,
I was thinking about it. You need to add like 3 or 4 starting pitchers still. You can't do pitching chaos for 2.5 months for 3 spots in the rotation, right? You could maybe get away with it for one.
The Tigers kind of did in 2024 for the last 2 months. They
the whole rotation essentially?
Three-fifths of the rotation, I think, Sammy. So there is some precedent to this.
Yeah, there is a precedent to it, and at least the back end of the bullpen you feel really confident about. Look, I mostly agree with you, Woodsy. It doesn't seem like something that is sustainable for the course of 2+ months. And it then, dovetails directly into what this trade deadline looks like. This is a team, especially from a starting pitching standpoint, that needs a lot. Now, how much do the Musgrove and Pivetta rehab processes go into this and what they believe they're going to get out of those guys and when? It could play a role, but the reality is this: it's almost August, and to this point, those guys have thrown 1 live batting practice session, and that's not to say that the rehab is, not going to proceed and not going to go well, and they'll hopefully be back at some point, but I think the point is you're still a ways away from those guys, A, being back, and B, you don't know, what they're going to be. I mean, both those guys are going to have not pitched in a really long time, obviously. Yeah. So I'm so fascinated by the deadline and by the approach and by how much, it was only a week ago that this season really felt on the brink, and it would not have been hard to see this team selling, or at least doing some version of buying and selling, and now all of a sudden it's a 5-game win streak and they've leapfrogged a bunch of teams. And there is this part of me that's sitting here and just saying to myself, AJ Preller, you're a 1.5 games out. What do you think he's going to do? And it seems pretty obvious that he's going to go and try to add to this team. And history would tell us that's what he's going to do. But it was only a week ago that it seemed very, very different. And, would there be a part of this front office that looks at it and says, we kind of, know what we have here and what our team is, and we're 100+ games in. And obviously I think there's the bigger picture questions of it as well when you have, pending free agents and guys on expiring deals. And, the Mason Miller question's a big one. Certainly I think he's so amazing that I would hate to see him go, even for a huge package back. Again, a lot of different elements to this, but to me, this 5-game win streak, it has made this incredibly, incredibly interesting. But, to your point, this pitching chaos thing, no, I don't see how it's sustainable for the long haul, but it at least is getting them through a mini stretch of the schedule against some bad teams, and they are winning baseball games. And, look, the reality is this, guys, they're going to have to do it 2 more times until they get back to the quote-unquote starters over the weekend. So, we're going to see how it works the next 2 days against probably a little bit of a better team in the Giants.
I wonder, too, talking to our pal Sammy Levin here on Ben and Woods this morning, it's such an interesting case study for me is Randy Vasquez, right, who we heard a lot in the offseason about. He's in the best shape of his life, and he proved that when he got back, and he was throwing hard, and he was locating, and he kind of dropped the moniker of Strandy Vasquez. Oh, he gets himself into a lot of trouble and then gets out of it. No, man, he was like, hey, okay, like he's a good piece of this rotation and one that's desperately needed when those guys went down, and he's kind of fallen off a cliff, Sammy. And I wonder what it is. I don't know if you've heard anything. Is it confidence? Is it pitch shape? Is it throwing the wrong pitch at the wrong time? I mean, when you watch him pitch, you are on the edge of your seat, waiting for one of those hangers to get hit 450 feet, man. So I don't know what it is. I feel like if fixed, he's healthy, right? He's healthy enough to pitch. If fixed, he could be a huge wild card for this team.
Yeah, Woody, such a good point about Randy. It's been disappointing, and he was so effective, especially in the second half of last year, and the stuff he ticked up so much. And you'll remember, we talked about him all the time in spring training about how high they were on Randy Vasquez and the jump he could make this season based on who he was last year, especially in the second half, and who he seemed to be during spring training. And, look, the reality is you look at his numbers. He had a 3.31 ERA after his first start in June, okay? That had shown signs of being the Strandy V and the traffic cop and all that. Okay, that's, I think we all understand that's kind of part of the Randy V experience, but his last 8 outings, he's got an 8.5 ERA. It just has not been the same guy. And as you guys know, to the point that they had to yank him out of the rotation. So look, have there been disappointing elements to the rotation? Yeah, stuff you can't control. The Pivetta injury and obviously the Canning and Giolito signings, have not worked out the way you wanted, both from an effectiveness and injury standpoint, but also, to your point, I'd put, Randy Vasquez really not continuing that progression right up there as far as things that have impacted this rotation. Yeah. And, hey, you know what? If you're Ruben Niebla and you're this, group of pitching coaches, I'm sure it's very high on their priority list to try to get him back on track and get him to a place where you can insert him into the rotation because, to your point, guys, this trade deadline, unless I'm crazy, I don't really see a scenario where you're adding, 3 starting pitchers. So if this is unsustainable, it really means that at some point you're probably going to have to get guys back in a more traditional rotation and eat some innings. And to me, Randy would be one of those prime candidates. So hopefully you can squeeze something else out of this second half from Randy and get him back on track because it's been disappointing. It has not been the season I think we or the organization anticipated for Randy for sure.
I'm of the same mind of you, Sam. There's no way that A.J. Preller can create a standard 5-man rotation. There's no trades that are available to fill 3 empty spots, maybe 4 in your starting rotation. Is it worth it to go out and get one more starter and then you're only relying on pitching chaos maybe 2 out of every 5 days the rest of the season? Does that make you a contender against the Brewers or the Dodgers in the National League, or is that just a Band-Aid? And how much is a Band-Aid worth? Because if it gets you into the playoffs, then you can change your strategy again. Will be very interesting to see what happens over the next 4 days. Sammy, we'll hear from you again tonight, 5:40, our Eco Water SoCal pregame show for Game 1 against the San Francisco Giants. Thank you for your time as always.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, buckle up. Going to be an interesting week. Very interesting to see what the situation is by the next time we talk a week from now, for sure.
There he is,
Thanks,
in-season Sammy Levitt. Before we get to the top of the hour, as promised, let's give away some tickets to Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd. If you'd like to win a pair, be the third caller right now at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. 2 tickets to see Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium in Mission Valley on September 2nd. The tickets are on sale right now. To get your own at Ticketmaster.com. So we'll give those tickets away. We will come back, and in our 8 o'clock hour, we'll play a little Throwback Thursday game of Real or Fake, try to qualify a Tier 1 for the trip to Las Vegas, monthly grand prize, and we'll have Eno Saris join us for some smart baseball ahead of the trade deadline. I mean, we'll talk about it in the roundtable. Woods, you won't be with us today, but I do think that A.J. Preller's not dumb. If someone blows him away with an offer for an Adrian Morejon or a Ty France or someone like that, even if you're buying, you have to consider anything that makes your overall roster better for the next couple of years.
Yeah, no question.
So we will talk about all of that coming up. 1 hour to go before our Epic Wings, Epic Padres roundtable. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a what? Thursday?
Yes, Hawaii man.
Thursday.
Island time is getting you.
97.3. It really is getting me, man. Getting me bad. It is Thursday. Yes, I'm Woodsy.
I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
My wife turns into Chet Hanks when we get out here. I mean, the drive home from the pool yesterday, she's like, I'm playing my playlist. And I was like, oh, all right, sounds good. And, I mean, it was just the whole drive home was just island music. And I was like, what, who are you? Like, you have a Sprinter van. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? The whole hour and a half.
Pick up your bomber class there for us
43
years around the world.
There she is, my wife.
John O'Star.
Yeah. What did you just say?
Pick up your bomber class there for us 43 years around the world.
I don't know what that means. I want to know what we're going to eat for dinner. I have
John O'Star.
Do you have John O'Star for dinner?
Where is John O'Star?
John O'Star.
I thought we were going to Kenji Burgers.
Pick up your...
I don't know what any of this means, but she full on turns into Chet Hanks and M. Yeah, there she is. There's my wife riding next to me in the car the whole way home, filling everyone's ears with lots of island music, to be sure. So I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl is our executive producer, and Ben Higgins is our friendly neighborhood sports anchor. So, great day yesterday. We pivoted. We had to pivot because our boat trip got canceled, went up we had to pivot and go to the other side of the island. And it's a very small island, guys. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny island. But to get anywhere here, man, you better pack a lunch. I mean, you really better pack a lunch with you when you go. You better pack your patience. You better have extra waters, snacks for the kids, entertainment. I mean, it is to get anywhere here. You're like, you have to mentally psych yourself up to do it because
there's really only one city / town on the island, Lihue, right? That's where the airport is, and everything kind of branches out from there.
That's
but
right.
It is a small place.
It is teeny, teeny, tiny, and it's an hour and a half to go 20 miles. I mean, it's crazy, but it's beautiful. It's not like you're driving through, Stillwater, Oklahoma. Like this is like. You're driving, your head's on a swivel, like, good God, what are those? Oh my God, look at the waterfalls and the mountains. I mean, it's stunningly beautiful. But we got to the hotel, got our wristbands, and then they had a big saltwater lagoon that we swam in, and then they have the regular pool. They got a lazy river. They got a water slide. Taylor, my son Taylor, is 5. He went down the water slide 27 times yesterday. I worry about him once he finds something he likes because he doesn't know how to turn the spigot off, right? Like he is like, I'm going again. I'm like, all right. I made the decision too to go out to the real ocean because that was readily available there as well. So I went out to the big ocean, and it swells in the south, and the waves up here in Honolulu, it looks like a lake. Like there's 3 inches, the waves are high, right? And so the kids get in, they jump around, can jump in the waves. I went out there during the south swell yesterday and saw some of the biggest waves I've ever seen and wanted to get out and swim in it a little bit. And boy, I made it about 10 minutes, and I looked down at my watch. My heart rate was 147. It was staggeringly powerful, and you forget just how strong the ocean is, how beautiful it is. And there were a couple of guys out there you could see they were not from here, and they had their boogie boards, and they tried to paddle out, and they go, nope, and they walk back into the beach, dude. So, but it was really, really amazing to get out there and get my ass kicked in the water for a while. It was a great day, and I did. My kids got a GoPro, and they love playing with the GoPro, so I took it down the water slide. And there's a video on my Instagram of me going down the water slide with the GoPro. And then, at every water slide, when you get down to the bottom, there's always that little area. And you come shoot. Yeah, the little pool. But it's very shallow. And you you shoot down in the last second, and
you kind of like tumble in, and you like collect yourself for a second. You're like, whoa.
Sometimes it's
Yes.
it's roped off with like a safety buoy
buoys,
area,
yeah.
so no one gets in where you land at the end of the water slide.
Correct. So somebody was not paying attention and was letting their 3-year-old in floaties swim in that area as this big, massive ogre, me, comes sliding down the slide at full speed. Yeah, full speed. And it's actually on my Instagram. You can see it. I mean, I could have legitimately hurt this little girl, and she was swimming through right where I came out. And you see it, man. Underwater, there's the camera, and you see her little legs like right by me, and I almost just crushed.
Now that wouldn't be on you if it happened, but I'd
'cause I
imagine
can't
you'd
see.
still feel awful if you
I'd feel
injured a
terrible.
small child.
Yes, I would. I would feel very, very terrible about that. But it was like an inch away from just slamming right into her, and it would have been the worst experience. But yeah, man, it was a really, really fun day. But I've realized, man, how long can you guys legitimately, if somebody said to you, we're going down to the pool, like we're going to the pool today, what's like your limit? You can eat lunch, you have a couple drinks, whatever it may be.
Time limit?
Like what is your like when you start to get real antsy?
Not that long. If you include lunch and drinks,
I'm calling lunch, drinks, all of it.
I can probably stretch it to maybe 3.5 hours.
I was thinking like 2.5 to 3. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's no lunch or drinks involved, then we're talking like 90 minutes or so.
Yeah, so I mean, we got there, we ordered lunch, and it was nice. We had a little bit of shade, so that was great because it was really hot on the other side of the island, and the sun was out. It was perfect. But dude, I had lunch. Now the saving grace yesterday was the Padres game. The Padres game was on, so I could sit in my chair, eat my turkey club, and watch the Padres game. Made the time, go a little bit quicker. But dude, about 3 hours in, I looked at Hannah and I gave her the look, and she goes, no. And I go, okay, I'll find some more activities to do. And that's when I went to the ocean, and then the kids want to go down the water slide every 5 minutes and go in the lazy river. So you do all that stuff, right? Man, I made it. We were there 5.5 hours.
Oh
and I was cooked mentally and physically, and I'm so sunburned. Like I wasn't drinking or anything because I was driving, so that would have been a different story entirely. But yeah, I was thinking I got to ask the fellas, what's the max pool time you guys can do?
Yeah, I mean,
without losing your mind.
Being in the
basically.
sun on a vacation all day is surprisingly exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
It's exhausting.
But the nice thing about vacation is you don't have to get up early. You can sleep in as long as you want.
Totally.
And recover
Totally.
Right.
Yeah,
the
it's
next
great.
morning. So
Just
you can
wake
go
up
and-
nice and refreshed.
You can do it again.
Yeah.
You're on your own time. You don't have any obligations or
It's the
responsibilities.
best part of vacation, I would say.
So
Correct.
you can be refreshed to do it again the next day, right, Woods?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's been each day that I've been here, it's been harder and harder to get out of bed, man. Like it's so, and you got the sunburn chills, and you're next to your wife, and you're going, it's 2:22. I have to get up right now, man. But I have been sleeping so well. I just haven't been sleeping long enough.
Which is why tomorrow we're not sure if we're getting no Woods, full Woods, or
I'm afraid to
partial
literally
Woods.
bring it up ever again now. But you're not wrong. Still
I don't
don't
want to
really
pressure,
know
you
what
don't
you're
have to
doing.
make a decision, but at some point you could give us an indication of maybe when you might want to or not want to be on the show, so I can make alternate plans if you're not going to be here, or if you are, that would be great too. We'd
All
love
I
to
know
have
is
you.
You're not going to be here tomorrow. Monday's still up in the air. Tuesday, you'll be here next week, assuming you do find a spot to broadcast from your hotel. And then Wednesday is a travel day. We'll see you again next Thursday. But I don't know tomorrow or Monday.
Ben, did you say that if I told you where I was going and when, you would make alternate plans?
Well, possibly like an extra guest or two if I knew you weren't going to be here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have known about this vacation for a year.
Sure.
So,
but I'm not going to, I mean, you're on the show today. I'm not going to overload us. We don't need extra guests. We're doing our thing. We're having a good show here today. I knew I had you today. I'm just not sure the next 3 days, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, to what level of woods we might have.
I will be here. I was going to take tomorrow off. I'm not going to now.
Now you're not.
I'll do half show tomorrow. We are going tubing, and it is on the other side of the island, which isn't raining. It's literally 10 miles away, and it's a totally different world. I mean, it's rainy and dark and windy down here. You go up there, and it's like bright, hot sunshine. So I'll come in tomorrow.
Well, you can finally use that day where they say, "Hey, take off early for the holiday weekend, half day for everybody." This is your chance to use that day that you've never gotten to use in the past.
I think we've got about a month's worth of half days that we could take off, because every holiday the email comes from the big boss that says, "Hey, everybody,
everybody's leaving.
Get a quick start on the holiday weekend. Get out of here at noon. If you can't do that, schedule a time with your boss to take another half day." We've never once taken that or taken advantage of that. But I was going to say earlier, Woodsy, the worst part is, kind of for all of us involved, is that you keep going further west. Like, if you were on the East Coast and you were 3 hours ahead of us instead of 3 hours behind us, like, ultimately, if you were able to just join us for like the first hour and help us like get through foreplay, get your thoughts on the Padres game, and then you took off, like, that alone would be a huge help, I think.
Right, and that would be like at 9 a.m. if you were on the East Coast, or if you went to Europe, you might be doing it at 2 in the afternoon.
But I don't want to suggest it, be like,
but
hey,
you
if
keep
you're already
going
up at
west.
2 a.m., but I'm like, yeah, you keep going west. I'm like, hey, I know it's 2 in the morning or whatever, 3 a.m. start time, but if you could just join us from like 3 to 4 from Hawaii, that alone would be a huge help.
Wait till I go to Japan next, 'cause that's something we've been talking about. That's a true story. We are looking into maybe a Japan trip at some point, breaking it up with a visit here, which would be the way to do it.
The on-the-way stop in Hawaii to Japan.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, and leave the kids with our in-laws, not just running solo, and then go to Japan, because I don't think that they would enjoy Japan at their age right now, certainly, but I think that's something we have discussed. So can't wait to see what time it would be in Japan that I would have to.
I think we start at like 10 p.m. over there.
Yeah, I think.
Oh my God.
10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I'd still have to wake up to do the show.
That's right. You go to bed at about 7:30. Set your alarm for 9:30. Get up and do the show, and then go back to bed.
And if I was on the East Coast, I'd be like, "Hey guys, yes, that's the Statue of Liberty. I've got to run back to the hotel and do a couple of hours with these guys here on the radio." No, I'll come in tomorrow for sure and do the first couple hours, because again, we are going tubing. It is a bit of a hike, as I mentioned. I'm not sure when the bus leaves and all that, but yeah, I mean, I can come in and do a couple hours.
Excellent.
Listen, I'm someone that is easily guilted. No question.
Adam
has done.
I don't want to guilt you, though.
Adam has done his job. He's done his job as a great manager will do. He's motivated me to abandon my family as much as I can and be there for the radio station. So he's done his job. He knocked it out of the park. My wife is. Let's say Adam Klug he's not rocketed to the top of the Christmas card list.
I was just going to ask about Christmas cards. Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know.
He's still on the list, but he's dropped down a few spots.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially persona non grata in here on this trip right now.
He gets the courteous in-person delivery. Maybe you're like,
yes.
Hey, we had a couple extras. Here you go. Like, you're not.
How many times did I drop off the courteous in-person delivery to people at work when I had extra? Hey, thinking of you this holiday season. I wasn't, but I had like 14 left over, and I thought maybe you'll like it. I mean, I'll come in tomorrow. Do like 6 to 8. You got what time's the skipper on?
We got 8:35 for our SDCCU management report. It is not Big Bank Banking. It is Better with Craig Stammen tomorrow, I think at 8:35.
Well, they're rolling right now. Even if they lost today, I mean, they're still rolling at this point. That should be an easy one for you guys. So yeah, I'll come in and do like 6 to 8 if I can, and I'll definitely be here at some. I'll be here. Hopefully I can make it 2 hours.
All right, and then Monday, Tuesday, like we can just get you at least for foreplay or something.
Well, I need I got to make sure I have a location to do it. But I've been told by many people in my DMs, the place we're staying, they'll have a spot for me. It's a really nice resort and hotel, so we'll be able to get something done. And listen, man, at the end of the day, I want to be there on a Monday, where the trade deadline is going down. I want to be there on a Tuesday after the trade deadline. Like those are fun shows to do, especially in San Diego.
Well, who knows too? We may get some moves over the weekend to discuss. It's
That's
not
true.
it's not just
always the
you have
last
to
day.
wait until
That is
noon
true.
on
Right.
Monday. Yeah.
Maybe we can move up, take on Woods tomorrow as well while we still have him and figure that out. We do have Real or Fake coming up next. If you want to be our contestant, try to qualify for the grand prize trip to Las Vegas, you can call now 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, or play our game. Coming up next, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts trusted by thousands of San Diegans for 20 years. Baseball season is in full swing, so is swim season. Make sure your pool is ready. Call now, mention radio for 20% off new service plans in 2026. You may need to put in a pool and a water slide in your backyard for Taylor after this vacation.
Ben, you have never seen somebody love a water slide.
Did you ever have a friend who had a water slide in their backyard?
Yeah.
That was so elite when you were a kid.
It was janky, though.
It's not they didn't have the water shooting down. It was just like you'd squeak down like very slowly.
There was I wish I would have gotten audio, you guys, because there was a dude there with his son, and let me describe the situation. The guy was in just regular board shorts, but he had this real thin hoodie on, but it was camo, so he was in a camo hoodie, made for the water, I think, if you're hunting, perhaps, maybe in the water. But he had this camo hoodie on. And the water slide was fun. I mean, but it wasn't super dangerous. It got a little bit fast. And this guy, every time he got up there, he was a big pick-me guy. He would scream. Yeah! And then his kid would scream the whole way down. And I was like, oh, okay, they're having fun, father and son.
Cowabunga!
Dude, it went on the entire day. You'd be sitting there, you're like, starting to relax, the sound of the waves hit, and then you'd hear this guy go down the slide. Yeah! It was unbelievable, bro. It was unbelievable. I wanted to go get video and audio, but I was like, I don't want to be standing there with a phone at the end of the slide, but I was like, buddy, we get it. You're having a great time.
We had a few community pools. Man. We had a few community pools in my neighborhood, and there was one in particular in Lincoln Park, Seattle, where they had like the sickest pool. It was kind of on the like Puget Sound on the beach area there with like a glass wall that you could see right into the water, and it was awesome. They had a giant like water slide. They had high dive, which I was terrified of, and then the regular diving board. They had basketball hoops. Like it was the spot to go. Except they were a saltwater pool. It was the only like saltwater pool, and going from like only knowing chlorine pools and not really even being young and not really like remembering to like, hey, you don't want any of that salt water to get in your mouth or whatever.
Right.
It kind of like sucked. You're like, oh, they got a lot of fun stuff at this pool, but I got to like mentally prepare for it being all
float
salt
so
water.
well, though, in the salt
you do
water
float
pool.
better.
We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we got take on or don't do this. No. Real or fake? I'll figure it out. We got a couple contestants waiting online, and then we will be joined by Eno Saris at the bottom of the hour for Smart Baseball, all coming up with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, SDFatLoss.com is the way you can lose weight safely, quickly, and hopefully permanently. Like me, I lost 40 pounds in 60 days on the SDFatLoss.com program. I did it 3 years ago, and look at me today. I have kept that weight off, and I credit SDFatLoss.com for finally setting me up for success. I had done other programs, the ones that relied on a bunch of bars instead of meals. I lost weight. I hated it. And then I gained the weight back because once you started eating real food, your body couldn't handle it. But because SDFatLoss.com is based on real food, I ate a lot of chicken and steak, stuff from the grocery store. I wasn't making a giant change at the end of the program. My body knew the difference. It helped me maintain my success. You can lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days with no exercise and no expensive GLP-1 injections with potential side effects that go on and on and on weekly, pretty much forever. If you think that sounds good, set up your free consultation by going to sdfatloss.com, and if you sign up for the program right now, take advantage of the summer special. Get $200 off for 97.3 The Fan listeners and start the path to a new you in just 60 days. That's the amazing part. It doesn't take that long to change your life at sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
cruises live. Experiences done different. We will definitely talk about it on our Epic Wings, Epic Padres Roundtable at the top of the hour. But with Eno Saris coming up, we got to get to our game. It is time to play Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Real or Fake brought to you by Bail Arms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we've got a Steven versus Steven matchup today.
No,
hello, Tier 1 Steven. You there, Steven?
Good morning.
There you are.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm here. Good morning.
All right.
Are we doing Real or We're doing Real or Fake?
Real or Fake? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not going up against him. I'm confused. It's been a long week for both of us. No, you don't even need to beat Steven. All you have to do is get 4 out of 7 right, and you will qualify for our grand prize monthly drawing, 2-night stay at the Fontainebleau Las Vegas, and a $150 food and beverage credit. Book your stay now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. All right, here's what we've got for you today, Steven, and you can ask Woods for help on our category today. Woods may have not gotten his Hawaiian cruise yesterday, but we're taking one today on Real or Fake with a Gilligan's Island theme. 7 castaways, 7 questions. I will give you both a first and last name. You need to tell me if that's actually one of the names of the 7 characters on the show, and they did have names, or if it's a fake I've thrown in to fool you. Steven, you ever watch Gilligan's Island?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's do this. Here we go. Round number 1. Real or fake Gilligan's Island character. Jonas Grumby. Real or fake, Steven?
Real.
Yep, that's the skipper. Jonas Grumby. That's correct.
Had no
3
idea.
more, and you are a winner. Round number 2. Artie Gilligan. Real or fake? Artie Gilligan.
What do you think, Woodsy?
Artie Gilligan.
Not many
Sounds
people
right.
know his first name. Was it Artie?
Sure.
He says sure, Steven. Doesn't sound that confident, though.
I'll say real.
Willie Gilligan
What is
apparently
it?
was Willie Gilligan was his name. All right, that's all right. We are 1 for 1, 1 for 2. Let's go to round number 3. Eunice Howell. Real or fake? Eunice Howell.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, that was Lovey. Lovey's first name was Eunice.
Thought her name was Lovey.
No, it's Eunice Howell is Lovey Howell. All right, that's 2 correct. Let's go to round number 3. Roy Hinckley. Real or fake Gilligan's Island character? Roy Hinckley.
Real.
Professor PhD Roy Hinckley was the professor on Gilligan's Island. Very good. All right, 1 more correct, and you have won it. Let's go with Ginger Thomas. Real or fake? Ginger Thomas.
What do you think, Woodsy?
Real.
We know there's a Ginger, but what was her last name? He says real. Steven for the win?
Real.
Real. No, Ginger Grant. Actually, they said her name a few times on the show. It's Ginger Grant.
My bad.
All right, let's try this one.
Oh, that's right.
Round 5. Round 6. Mary Ann Summers. Real or fake? Mary Ann Summers.
Now that's real.
Yeah, that's Mary Ann's name, and you are a winner today, Steven, on Real or Fake.
Yeah.
Remington Howell III.
Real.
No.
Come on.
Thurston Howell III.
Thurston.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. Congratulations, Steven. Hang on the line. Paulie will get your info, and we will come back with some smart baseball and Eno Saris.
My apologies to everyone in the listening audience under the age of 50.
Everyone's
I was
seen
just gonna
Gilligan's
say-
Island, right? Your kids have seen Gilligan's Island.
I was just going to say this segment brought to you by Metamucil and Depends here on Ben and Woods.
You need to
on
make your kids
97.3
watch
The
Gilligan's
Fan.
Island.
No, you
It's a
don't.
great show.
No, you really don't.
All right, fine. Sarah's coming up next, broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, I miss you so much. I miss you so much.
We're right
Eco
here.
Water, SoCal.
Oh,
No,
Eco Water.
not you guys. I couldn't miss anybody less than you two, but I really miss my Eco Water. I have this big thing, and it's fine.
I see somebody behind you, actually, that looks like they need some Eco Water.
Let me see. Oh, little Taylor's here. Yeah, he loves Eco Water too. Don't you love Eco Water at home? Yeah, he's nodding his little head right now. But man, listen, I got a message the other day from somebody who said, Woodsy, I did. I put it in my home. I love it as well. It is just so good because the water in Southern California, it's rock hard, man. It basically eats away at your water heater, trashes appliances, dries out your skin. Listen, we got tired of fighting it. We wanted the best drinking water also that we could put in our home. That's why we got the Eco Water SoCal system in our house. We are obsessed with it. Listen, everything now, every faucet is premium spring water, alkaline water. It's so delicious. You can totally taste and feel the difference. So let them come out and do a free in-home water test for you. Call 760-350-3338, 760-350-3338, or go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you out there. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
He just here. I'll show you a little. Just a little. Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Not that now.
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
it's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player. This is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort. Now open.
Of Ben and Woods before our Epic Wings Roundtable, brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Let's not waste any time and get right to Eno Saris.
It's time for the Super Polished Just to Be Named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Harris, Saris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark, by the bay in Chula Vista.
Yeah, Athletics' Eno Saris joining us. And before we talk pitching and what the Padres may or may do at the deadline, Eno, I want to ask you about the Padres' offensive turnaround, because since the middle of June, they've actually been top 5 in a lot of categories when you look back after being dead last in most categories the first 2.5 months. What do you kind of read into this resurgence by the Padres lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I thought would happen. Tatis made those small adjustments that he needed to make, and the power came back. Manny was hitting for power the whole time, and just started to hit for more contact and batting average since. It's a pretty good offense. I think maybe there's some seasonality to it with the park factors. Maybe it's worse early in the season. We've talked the park factor thing to death a little bit, but
yeah.
There's some factor in there. And then I think that they were just suffering from the fact that their main 3 guys, Merrill, Machado, and Tatis, were struggling. And for the most part, those 3 guys have turned it around and fueled a lot of it.
Yeah, no question. And then the emergence of guys like Ty France, who's been unbelievable for this team and hitting behind Manny. And I think it's really helped, and it, strangely enough, they're an actual fairly exciting offense to watch right now. And of course it makes you think, well, if the offense could ever click in the postseason, which has been an issue for the San Diego Padres, to be sure, we all go back to that Dodgers model of a couple of years ago where they had such a good bullpen. They had 2 starters and they cobbled it together and won a World Series. I don't think that's going to happen with the San Diego Padres, but it certainly is a blueprint, a path forward, if you will, because their offense was great and their bullpen was outstanding. And we've got both of those things right now. We're just lacking a couple of starters.
Yeah, and, I think the good news is that the Listen, their playoff odds are up to 20%.
Yep.
And that's not nothing. I think that's enough to say, hey, I don't want to give up these banked wins. I'm going to give it a shot. And then their World Series odds are 0.5%.
Right.
Or win the World Series odds. So, I think for that sort of long tail dreaming, you want to be like, okay, well, that's Pivetta and King. Like, are we really going to trade for Skubal? Or, I guess one name that's been out there is Hunter Green. That's like, you'd have him for 2 or 3 years. I'm not going to say anything's impossible with Preller, but I think that what's most likely is the things that they would be buying would be things that are actually readily available, which are back-end starters. And you got Robbie Ray, Brady Singer. There's a fair amount of guys that can get you there that are out there. We put them on the board. We have a trade board, and it's just the back end guys that I think will be available.
Just as an aside, speaking of Tarek Skubal, I think we kind of feel it's a foregone conclusion he's going to end up with the Dodgers. Do you share that feeling, or could you see a surprise destination in the next few days?
And do they need him at all?
They have a lot of really high-end talent coming off of the IL at some point. And I don't know. Like, do you need him if you have Shohei, Glasnow, Snell, 1, 2, 3, Yamamoto? I don't know. Need is not really what they're talking about in LA, though. It's probably more like, let's put the finishing touches on another championship run. So the reason that they could do it is because they kind of have a little bit of a logjam at the top end of their minor leagues, where they have like a lot of great outfield prospects. Only a couple of them, can play even in LA, and it's really a high bar to like make the team when the team is good. This is why people say, "Oh, what the Yankees, produce homegrown talent?" Well, the Yankees have had pretty good teams. It's pretty hard to like break in. You can't just be like a meh player for 2 years before you break out. They won't play you. So they've got a little bit of logjam. They've got some prospects. They could do it, but there are other teams that I think the need is more glaring. So I wouldn't say. I would say yes, they're probably the favorites.
Well, I think they do it for one unspoken reason, and that is they don't want to face him in the playoffs, and that's the only way they can guarantee that they don't have to.
Well, the other reason is because they can. I mean, they absolutely can, and should, based on the glut of prospects with no home. After that, we've said it for years. At some point, Andrew Freeman. I remember the one deadline they went out and got. I can't even. It was a reliever from the Twins, Stewart maybe, and I laughed and laughed, and I thought, oh my God. They have all these prospects, and they're not really going for it. That would make me furious. And, of course, they ended up winning the World Series anyway, So, but at some point, they're going to have to get rid of some of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they will make a trade. Though I would just say, if you, look at their team, the thing that makes me the most nervous is their offense, actually. I know they've scored a lot of runs, but it looks old to me, and I think he could in the playoffs look older. You know what I'm saying? Freeman's got the ankle issues, and he's over 35. Mookie looks positively old this year. Teoscar hasn't been the same. There's some weakness in that offense, and Kyle Tucker hasn't fixed it. So, they could make the big swing on offense.
Let's talk about pitching chaos, which is what the Padres are calling what they've been doing the past few days with mix and match bullpen games and taking starters, putting them in the middle of games, being unpredictable. They're likening it to what the 2024 Tigers did. Sounds like something you'd think is a lot of fun. I don't know whether you believe it can be an effective strategy, but what are your impressions of pitching chaos and what the Padres are trying?
Well, you got it backwards. I think it's 100% an effective strategy, but I don't actually find it that fun.
Effective, not fun. Okay.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like if somebody's saying we want to go to the ballpark tonight, I'm like, who's starting? I mean, all things equal, I want to know who the starter is, and I want it to be, someone good, And, when you say, I don't know who's pitching at all, I'm like, oh, okay. Could be any host of a number of players. But, from an analytical standpoint, I think it makes sense because we've long had this idea in the game that guys can go 6 or they can go 1. And that doesn't make sense. The longer you go into the game, the more, the lower your stuff goes, right? That's pretty obvious. If you throw 1 inning, you can throw, 97, but if you throw 6, you might sit 93. That's obvious. But what's not as obvious is that's a sliding number, right? So there are some guys who have good enough stuff and a large enough arsenal to go 3 or 4. Why didn't we ever think of that before? There's just it doesn't have to be binary. It doesn't have to be 6 or 1. So,
right.
When you realize that, you can be like, Sears pretty good, one time through the order, maybe even, 1.5, Vasquez, even, in a little bit of a reduced state, he can go through it 1.5 times. So you're like, oh, wow, if I just piece these together, what it does do is put a little stress on the bullpen because you have one less traditional reliever. You might tire the bullpen out a little bit, but at this point, they have to make the playoffs. There are other teams that can say, well, we won't do that because we're going to make the playoffs and we want to make sure our bullpen is as rested as possible. Padres don't have that. They have to make the playoffs. So I think this is an appropriate response to what the back end of the rotation has done.
Saris joins us from The Athletic here on Ben and Woods. And, obviously next week we'll be able to kind of parse out what all teams have done. Who do you kind of project as being the most active team, buyers or sellers, at the deadline? I know it's hard to predict, but there's some teams out there that have needs, and then there's some teams that probably need to dump guys.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the sellers, there's not that many that are just really obvious sellers. And even, for selling player to get really good return, you need to sell a player that has multiple years of control.
Right.
So, in order to do that, you have to say we're rebuilding, right? We're not retooling. It's not just the next year. So I kind of think the Blue Jays, maybe they would, but I doubt that they'd sell anybody that has years of control left. It's going to be Bieber, Gossman, and Varsho, which is pretty active. But I think a wild card in all this is a team like the Reds, and maybe even the Royals, where it's are you going to be good next year? And if you're not going to be good next year, then maybe you should trade one of those big names that has years of control left. That's why Hunter Green is suddenly, a name on the market for the Reds, is because there's this realization that maybe we don't need to just trade the rentals. Maybe we need to do a little bit more. And I've been waiting for the Angels to do this, and it sounds like John Mozeliak is going to be that guy. And they already made a trade that made very little sense. They traded away their starting catcher and they're one of their late inning bullpen guys for the 31st best prospect that the Rangers had. So I guess that was a salary dump. I don't know. But there are rumors now about Zach Neto. And if there's rumors about Zach Neto, who has many years of control left for the Angels and is starting shortstop of top caliber, then that means Jose Soriano could go, Reed Detmers could go. I mean, anybody on that team could go. I mean, heck, why not Trout if you're talking about trading away Neto? So I think the Angels are a dark horse for the most active.
Hunter Green sounds like someone AJ would go after, kind of like another Dylan Cease, couple years of control, but you figure that the Reds are going to start by asking for Ethan Salas, who was just promoted to AAA. Is he worth a top prospect if the Padres are interested?
There's been a real resurgence of Salas heads.
Yeah.
I mean, they went away for a little bit, but now he's a 20-year-old that's 12% better than league average in Double-A. And the way that you look at that with age at level is that you add 20 points of WRC plus is just basically how good they are on 100 is average scale, right? So as I said, he's 12% better than league average, but he's 20, and the average age in Double-A is 22 or 23. So that 112 is the same as like a 155.
Wow.
So he's basically, because he's so young, he's basically like 50 to 60% better than league average at AA. So that's a really good prospect, especially if you believe in his defense. Fangraphs gave him a 70 future fielding. So, and that's been what everybody said, right? Like he's a great catcher too. So.
Yep.
All right, so maybe don't trade Ethan Salas for Hunter Green.
I would also say that we didn't put Green in our big board because we hadn't heard this when we were doing it, and we're just having a debate on the internal Slack about where he should be. And we've got a bunch of writers, and some thought just top 10, maybe just ahead of Jose Soriano. And my position was that Hunter Green would be either second behind Tarek Skubal or third behind C.J. Abrams as like the biggest potential name to be traded at the deadline.
It's going to be an interesting weekend. Eno, we got a roundtable to get to, but appreciate it. We will talk to you post-deadline next Thursday. Have a great week, and thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Smart Baseball with Eno Saris, and that wraps us up for a Thursday. Woods, have a nice hour off as we head over to the roundtable. Paulie's going to join us for the roundtable today. We've got Julian Delgadio. We're going to talk Padres baseball commercial-free. Coming up next, don't go anywhere. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Be right back.